When it comes to colors or finishes used for guitars, there are a handful that are more popular than others. Whether it be the butterscotch blonde Telecasters, played by millions of unknown players, inspired by Bruce Springsteen, Roy Buchanan, or the late great Merle Haggard, or the Olympic white Stratocaster made famous by Jimi Hendrix' Woodstock performance. Although these guitar colors are no doubt memorable and have influenced millions, the one that stands above all the others for me is Sunburst. Sunburst is a style of finishing for musical instruments that at the center surface is an area of lighter color, often showing the wood grain that gradually darkens towards the edges of the instrument into a dark black rim. Now there are many varieties of this sunburst finish. From the traditional, which you see on the, early 50s, 60s model Stratocasters is so iconic with Buddy Holly and people like that, all the way to the Gibson Les Paul sunburst finishes that are a little different. They go from traditional to tobacco to the cherry sunburst and even the honey burst, which are also iconic in their own right with people like Slash and other Les Paul players making that so famous over the years. I've owned a few sunbursts over the years, and I was going through my arsenal the other day of guitars and was really, really astonished. I don't have a sunburst instrument right now to show y'all. So I'll actually put some photos at the end of this video so you can get some examples of what I'm talking about here. But here's a good example. I went through my record collection as well, and it's very weird that I only have one real album that really, really gives a good photo of the sunburst finish, and it's this Stevie Ray Vaughan, his second album, Soul to Soul. He's got that Gibson ES-335, which is another iconic instrument for blues players, and he didn't play that guitar that much. So that's pretty cool that there's an album cover with him holding it. His main Stratocaster was really, really beat up, but originally it was also a sunburst finish. My first guitar was a Stratocaster copy called an Area, I believe it was made by Area Pro, and it was meant to look like the iconic Stratocasters, and I'll put a photo up of that too, and forgive the 90s cowboy get up that I was in back in the day. That was my thing growing up. And anyway, I just ended up with that guitar because it was the nicest one for less than $150 in the guitar shop that my dad bought the guitar for me at. So I've had several instruments though. I had a really, really nice 2001 American Deluxe Fender Stratocaster that I actually played on a lot of my studio recordings from back in that time period, that I'll also throw a photo up of that as well. One of the earliest memories I have of sunburst finish and really just being wowed by the beauty of it was my older cousin, my first cousin, who I consider basically to be my brother, Chris. He had a G&L, one of those mid-80s G&L, and he still has it. But I remember seeing him playing that guitar. It's a Telecaster style ASAT, I believe is what it's called. And it was just beautiful. It just caught my eye, and I always had a big appreciation for his guitar playing anyway. So a lot of times I found that the music that we listen to, in this recorded era of music over the last, I guess, 60, 70 years, even all the way back to Hank Williams' time, because he also played a Gibson a Gibson J45 sometimes that was Sunburst. Elvis, another one. But what I was saying, these iconic images of these musicians with these guitars, I don't think people realize how much it sinks into your psyche as seeing legendary guitarists or musicians standing with, these instruments. It's part of the whole mystique. And all instruments play differently. We can all agree on that. But these Sunburst finish are something that are like a piece of art. That even if a guitar doesn't play that well and you have it sitting over in the corner, which I did, I had a 72 Thin Line reissue a few years back. And I wasn't particularly fond of the guitar as far as playing it, but I kept it a little bit longer just because it was just so pretty sitting over in the corner. And again, it brought images and memories of players like Tab Benoit, for example, who plays one of those real deal early 70s two humbucker Telecaster guitars. But I just wanted to see if y'all had an opinion on this. Do you think that the Sunburst finish is probably the most popular finish or the most iconic finish for all musical instruments, whether it be acoustic guitar, Stratocaster, Les Paul, mandolin? You hardly ever see a mandolin that isn't a Sunburst finish. I just thought it was some food for thought and a cool idea to talk about on here. So joshporter08.com is where you can find out more about me. Of course, subscribe, like, share with your friends. And thank you so much, because time is the most precious thing we have on this earth. And if you spent a few minutes with me here, I appreciate you. I'll catch y'all next time. Be some new music coming out soon. Thanks.